Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod, our Halloween Spooktacular. And as you'll notice, for those of you that watch, you can't see any of us right now. But you know what? That's all going to change. We did this on purpose so we could do the big reveal together. Okay, everybody, flip on your video.
All right.
I clicked the button. There we go.
Same.
And then we have a special guest who is apparently just 4 letters.
Hold on.
You son of a bitch.
Hold on.
What?
There you go.
What the fuck is going on?
What's up?
Hugh, is this a joke?
Why is everybody dressed up?
You mean dress down?
Oh, well, okay.
It's the Halloween show, and we've been, bouncing it through the thing that we're gonna do costumes, and there's gonna be a prestigious prize for the best costume voted by the audience.
You mean in the group chat?
Yeah.
The group chat that I haven't gotten since last Tuesday because my phone, the data on my phone died.
Awesome.
I just got a new phone. I went with Kevin's. I got a OnePlus 8. I just came back from Page Plus because I've been having to fight with them to get the data provisioned on this. Since, wow. Yeah, the last text I have, he doesn't see what you do. He just sees a thumbs up on your message. That's the last thing I have on my old phone.
Have you had a chance to use the OnePlus at all yet?
I can use it for everything, but I wasn't getting picture messages. So, because they use data, I've been able to use it on Wi-Fi. It's fucking amazing, but I was going to talk about that later. But yeah, I've been without data for like 8 days.
You mean just your cellular?
Yeah, I could make phone calls and
Yeah.
I could use Wi-Fi, but they had issues provisioning it. I had to call them up and do something called CDMA less provisioning. Maybe that means something to you. Basically, they have to provision it without using Verizon's CDMA network solely on the 5G network for it to work. But it took a week to figure. Well, see, I got the phone on Saturday. I got the phone on Saturday, so from Saturday till now. Yeah,
All right,
we're gonna break. I'll come up with something. I'll come up with something.
I'm sorry, Hugh. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell grid is supposed to be.
I was going to do a round table on that. I was going to have everybody do it because remember, we still have people who just listen to the show, traditional podcast style. So I'm going to have everybody do their own.
I think we should explain each other's costumes, what we see.
You know what? How about we have Hugh explain everybody's costumes? Go ahead, Hugh.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start with Paul because his is pretty fantastic. Is that a real leather trench coat?
Real fake leather. It's actually one I've had for years. When I did this same costume over a decade and a half ago, I'd say. And it's actually a Morpheus coat from the Matrix, but I repurposed.
Yeah, you are very clearly Silent Bob. That's a great costume. I'm very impressed. Moving over to Corbs. Corbs is a baseball player, I'm guessing.
I was either that or Negan.
I was going with Negan because I see the black jacket.
Okay. Kevin is clearly Magnum PI. I mean, there's no doubt about that. The Tom Selleck version, not whatever bullshit they have on TV now. And Grid, Alice Cooper.
Close. I was going for Ozzy Osbourne, but then
Ozzy, yes.
With the round, you needed round glasses. That would.
I see it now.
Now, I do want to say that I basically had to browbeat the Grid into partaking in this. Like I guilted him into it, basically. Grid, welcome to the show. Welcome to Geek Pod, finally. The fans already should know who you are since they've all watched it probably multiple times, according to the numbers we've got on that. Watch the Split Rock investigation. So I actually thought of you last night when I was at Target and I saw that they have an action figure of Iron Maiden's The Trooper.
Oh,
so
nice.
yes. And I decided to go the extra mile with my background tip. There we go. Kev's in on it now too. That Hugh didn't mention, if you're not watching, my background is the quick stop convenience
Yep.
store.
What's going on? Is that a fake beard or did you dye your what's going on? You dyed everything?
I dyed my beard for this.
Oh man.
Oh my
Where'd you get
God.
the hair from though? Because you
It's
don't
a
have
wig.
hair.
It's just a wig.
Okay, because you don't have any hair, brother.
No. And the wig is actually driving me nuts. And I'm surprised that they actually matched up. Again, the wig is the same one that I had from when I did the costume the last time. And I dyed the beard at 5:30 this afternoon because I was not going to risk Kevin seeing it beforehand in case we had to get on Teams video today. I will be putting up on the Geek Pod thing the progression of how the dyeing goes, because when it goes on kind of light. It looked almost like a blondish, and then in the 5 minutes it turned on me. It went almost black, and I was like, "Oh my fucking god!" So, I'm told that in person it actually looks natural. You can't really tell.
Yeah, that's what people tell you when you dye your beard, so you don't feel
Yep.
weird about it. I did it. I tried to match my color a few years ago. I look like a guy who's trying to not look old.
Yep.
Well, here's my problem. And I noticed it after we dyed it tonight. It also stains your face, so I can't even say this looks horrible and I need to shave it off, because then I'll have what I look like. I just don't know how to wash my face. So
you got a whole Hollywood Hulk Hogan thing going on. That's okay.
I'm gonna tell you guys, I don't know how long the wig's gonna last because this is driving me fucking crazy.
Did I ever tell you, Paul, that I've actually done that costume too?
No, but I'm not surprised because you're a Kevin Smith fan as well.
Back when I was at AT&T, I had sneakers, shorts, I had a sweater, leather trench coat, back ball cap, everything. Halloween comes around, I go into work, I talk to no one except the customers on the phone all day. It's like, and I'm working like 9 to 5 at that point. And it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock before someone came up and they're like, "Why didn't you dress up?" I just said nothing. And finally it was my boss who's like, "Holy crap, you're Silent Bob, aren't you?"
This wasn't my first idea. I did jump off of it when Kevin started screwing with me when I pushed them about this dressing up thing, and that's what he said. He said, "I'm only doing it if I can be Silent Bob." I said, "Oh shit, I can help you with that." Like, he didn't get the reaction he wanted. Like, he expected me to be irritated, and I was like all about it. I'm like, I can bring all this stuff in. I think that's what he was going for. But anyway, happy Halloween, guys. As you guys know, as you're watching it, it is Halloween. Theater of the Mind, Grid. I'm not even sure if he's still awake with those sunglasses on. That's
I have to apologize because my costume is not complete. It almost is.
What didn't come in?
Well, my hat. This is not a Detroit Tigers hat.
Detroit Tigers, you're right.
I actually ordered a hat from MLBshop.com. And it was supposed to be here today, and it didn't show up. It'll be here on the 29th. So I'll have it before Halloween, but
nice. Now, I have to admit, I knew about Kevin's costume. We were hashing this out. I was fucking with him about it because I told him, I'm like, that's what he needs to go with. And at first he gave me the angry face on Teams, and then he ran with it. We were sitting at work and he just went all in.
What?
Hawaiian shirt.
Do you want to see how all in I am?
Are you wearing the shorts now?
You probably don't want to see this.
Okay. Do it.
These are very uncomfortable. I just have to tell you.
Nice.
Now, when this episode drops and you guys are watching this, if you go to both the Geek Pod website, which is geekpod.com, that's G33KPOD.com. Haven't done that in years. Look at that.
Doesn't it feel good?
It does. It's old school. As well as our Facebook page, we are going to have voting up, so you guys can log in and please vote for this because there is a prize for this. I've put together a really cool prize pack for this, guys.
So you're trying to get people to vote for someone else to win a prize?
Yes.
So it's like American Idol.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it.
We can give out each other's cell phone numbers and people can text them. And that's the one that.
Yeah, we'll start with yours.
No.
And I'm going to send it directly to Andrew.
But let's get the actual show started, guys. Guys, what's got you geeked?
Well, I'm geeked to be here. I'm geeked that I'm alive. I'll talk about that a little later. But to touch on what Kevin was interested in, yeah, Kevin, I followed what you said. You told me to look into OnePlus. I liked what I saw, and that is the first step. And I'm starting to completely trust anything you say tech-wise because you know your shit. I'm looking at Paul. No.
It's that good, huh?
This is fucking great. I mean, this is possibly the best phone I have ever had. 90 hertz refresh rate on the screen. I know it's not, they have 120 now, but I mean, this is light years ahead of what I had before. I mean, it's beautiful.
At 90, you never, I mean, it just makes everything so fluid.
Yeah, I won't gush over it too much just because I can't really show anything off in Zoom. But you know, it's that, I mean, it's got the in-screen fingerprint scanner, which is super cool. Yeah, you can't see shit on here.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with the phone. It's been incredibly frustrating having the phone and not being able to use it and doing the research. I mean, I had to go dig around. And so, I mean, I'm on the phone with the tech and I'm like, listen, this is what you need to do. They send me through 3 people. One guy is actually like, well, you need to take your phone and open up the browser and go to the Google page to activate the phone. I'm like, stop. You're talking to me about technology like my mother. Okay, you don't know what you're talking about. I need to go to your next tier of tech support. It was ridiculous. But we finally got it worked out. And I mean, just the camera on this thing, this thing's actually longer. It's taller than most phones. I don't know if that's like a normal for iPhone now or something, but it takes these super wide angle photos. They're just huge. I love it. I am so happy that I listened to that little nugget of wisdom you dropped about phones. But that's what's got me geeked. That and the fact that I'm not dying of COVID.
Well, there you go.
It's always a good start.
That's always good. Yeah, I like OnePlus. They were their own company. They're owned by Oppo now, which is another Chinese brand. But what I like about them is that they're very clean. I mean, if you've ever used a Pixel, you know what a clean Android operating system is. No cruft, no BS on top. And that's what I've always liked about the OnePlus. And OnePlus typically, they led the way with more RAM. And RAM in an Android phone makes it so nice, so fluid, so smooth.
8 gigs of RAM. This has as much RAM as my desktop computer next to me, which is just insane. To think that we're at the point where our phones need that much RAM.
And need might be pushing it, but man, does it use it well.
It definitely does. I know what you're talking about because I used to flash custom OSs on my older phones, like my Samsung and things like that. And while that's fun as an enthusiast, it's not something you want to fucking do every time you get a phone, especially when you stop working at the phone store. It becomes not fun.
A lot of work. A lot of work. Been there, done that. Yep.
All right. Next.
Kevo, what's got you geeked?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Holidays, I guess. I don't know. We got a bunch of stuff done, I guess. So get ready for Halloween. Halloween's always a great time around my house. We have a good party, have folks over. So I guess that's about it. Just things are going well. Things are going good.
Very cool.
Not really too much more than that.
Now, are you sticking to the plan we discussed? Does the wife know about the costume?
Yeah, she knows, and she's pretty freaking happy about it. What a lot of people don't know, I mean, she's told them every chance she gets, and she'd probably tell you when she meets you, and other guys or whoever she hasn't met yet, that the only reason she went out with me is because I look like Tom Selleck. So she's pretty happy.
That's good stuff.
That is a true story. She told me that last year at the birthday party.
Yep.
So,
she likes the shorts.
I'm sure she does, and I don't want to hear any more about it.
Yeah.
leave it there.
Just bad.
Corbs, I need you to put the bat back on your shoulder so I can get a screenshot of that too, as you're telling us about what's got you geeked.
For me, it's just it's my son. I mean, he came to me. I don't know if I mentioned this last couple weeks, but out of the blue, he told me he wanted to join the bowling team at school.
Nice.
So out of the blue, he was like, "Dad, I want to try out for the bowling team." So I was like, "Oh, okay." So we've been last 2 weekends. We've been over at Strike and Spare. I've been teaching him kind of. I mean, he knows how to bowl, but I've been teaching him a few things to kind of help him increase his average. Last couple weekends, he has until the 15th to get a little bit better. So we've been going on the weekend. One day over the weekend, we go and bowl like 2 or 3 games over the weekend, so he can practice.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's what's got me geeked. I'm looking forward to. There's I think there was 11 kids or something trying out, and he's got to make the top 8. So
Awesome.
he's got a decent chance. Hopefully he's getting a little better. He's getting a little more consistent, which is nice. So it's nice that he's mentioned something about wanting to jump in and play some golf. So, which is really music to my ears, as everybody knows. I'm an really bad avid golfer.
Wait, you're a bad golfer?
I'm
Or
a bad golfer. I'm a bad avid golfer. So
because you led us to believe before that you were good, because I distinctly remember a trophy.
well, that's putting. I'm very good at putting. It's getting to that spot that leads me to be a bad golfer. When you're on a par 4 and you get into the green in 6 shots and then you one putt for triple bogey, that's not good.
I mean, my general like for each hole is like 15. So yeah.
So I'm better than you.
Well, I mean, when it comes to sportsing, definitely yes.
So, but yeah, so it's nice to see him. He's actually stepped out of his comfort zone a couple of times this year. He tried out for another school program called 4D. I think I did mention that. He did not make the first cuts in that, which was a little upsetting to him. So, but then out of the blue, I got a text message. He's like, "Dad, I want to join the bowling team," and I was like, "Sure."
It's the cool shirts. That's why.
It is. I mean, he enjoys it, and it's something that he enjoys to do. So I'm willing to do that for him. If that's what he's looking for, I'm willing to do everything I can to help him get better, and I'll be there for him. So
That's awesome.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to to him trying out. So
Popper.
Why couldn't you make that happen when I was taking your picture, Gred? That would have been fucking great. All right, I'm gonna go next on this little list here because mine's not that exciting. What's got me geeked is also Halloween. We're all getting prepped, and I'm hoping by the time this episode comes out, I can also attach the pictures of the family costumes for Halloween. Somehow I always get roped into a costume with the kids, and it happened again this year. Kylie, who's huge into dinosaurs right now in Jurassic World, is going to be Blue the raptor. And Madison is going to be a character from the Descendants movies, which you guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about.
I know what they are. I have girls.
Okay. She's going to be Dizzy, who is apparently a background character.
Who cares? I try not to remember.
Right. Like I had to Google it.
There's the bitch in the purple thing, the bitch in the green thing, and people are mad at each other and they sing. And one of the girls from Black Lightning.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, that's the Descendants in a
There you
nutshell.
go. See, why are you not doing the movie reviews? That was perfect.
I have no
Look
idea.
at that. Hugh's angry movie reviews. That's the next one. That's next year. So anyway, as I said, I get involved in it. And this year, do you guys want to try and take an educated guess on where my costume is? And no, it's not Silent Bob.
Where it is?
in the
Like
world,
what it
or-
is. No, like where which one of those spectrums it lands in. Let's put it that way.
Are you going to be like the guy, Chris Pratt's character
You're too good at this.
from Dread?
Yes, I'm gonna be.
That was
Well,
easy
Owen Grady.
Even if you hadn't told me, I would have guessed that.
because I know you're not going to pick one of the characters from the Descendants, and they don't make costumes for the Descendants in your size anyway.
That's true. No, but we have Kristen's mom who makes very good costumes. The raptor costume is scratch built. It's
Oh, wow.
it's gonna be phenomenal. That tail is gonna be lethal. So so yeah, I'm gonna try and get pictures of that, but Kylie's costume isn't quite finished yet. They're still dry brushing the gray and the blue stripes onto it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, she does some
We have a
phenomenal work.
couple days.
Yeah. She needs it by Friday for the yesterday.
Oh.
Yesterday. For the Halloween parade at school. So
Speaking of
but
that, do both your daughters have a half a day tomorrow or on Friday?
yes.
Yesterday?
Yes, they do have it on yesterday.
Okay.
And
I
on
just
the
wondered.
and on the day before on Thursday. We have 2 half days apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bryce just got one on Friday. So.
Nice. Nope, Thursday and Friday.
Nice.
But let's keep it rolling. Grid, what's got you geeked, buddy?
My next episode, we've just been doing Whiskey Hollow Road.
Oh. Yeah, he's been telling me a little bit of stuff. There's been some interesting shit happening when they go. They've done multiple nights there, right?
Yeah, I had to go multiple nights.
Yeah.
Because of what happened.
It's yeah, I just had to turn him up too. He's a little far away from wherever his mic is.
On top of the camera because I ain't got.
He's-
Oh, making yourself pretty.
Thanks, man.
So and why don't you tell everybody, even though they should know by now, where they can find that footage, Grid?
Oh, you can find it on YouTube under Grid After Dark. You type that right into the browser, it'll come right up.
Yes, and we'll have a link to it anyway in the show notes. But let's keep it moving right along because we got a lot tonight, guys. Guys, what are you playing right now, video game wise?
I have something new. And I'm
Something different.
yeah, something completely different. I downloaded because it came out the Friday before, since we didn't record last week. There was a while back, there was a VR game released based on the TV show Doctor Who, which everyone knows I like. It's called The Edge of Time. I did try to play it, didn't really get into it. The VR was weird. But what they did is they re-released it as a regular console game. So they took it out of VR and put it into regular stuff. And basically, they call it the Edge of Reality. But what it is, the original game is about 20% of the content. So
Wow.
they added like 80%. They actually added more people from the series into it and new storylines. So I'm not going to come out and say this is the greatest game of all time. In fact, this is, as far as puzzle type games go, like you go around places and you have to find bits and, kind of like Myst in every puzzle game we've ever seen. Yeah, I mean, because this is a property where you can't really go around killing people because that's not what the show is about. It's difficult to make a game based on that. But for what it is, it's a decent, solid puzzle game with the trappings of Doctor Who, which is something, I mean, Doctor Who fans have never really gotten video games. Every time we do, it's a stupid mobile thing, or going all the way back to, the computers in the 80s, they had basically a Tron ripoff where the Doctor had to play all these mini games. It was stupid. This is a decent attempt. I think they're still missing the mark because the developers go, oh, we put the player in the shoes of a companion because, people want to play as the companions. I think they're wrong about that. But cool shit does happen. Get to pilot the TARDIS, get inside a Dalek casing and go around as a Dalek killing other Daleks. That's kind of neat. That's not anything I ever thought I'd get to do in a video game. So I'm, given the price point was like $30, I'm happy with the experience it's providing. Because I know this is probably as good as it gets for Doctor Who fans in video games. We're never going to get a really good game.
All right.
So if you're a fan, check it out. If you're not, don't bother. You're not going to enjoy yourself.
All right. I've actually started a new game myself, and in the spirit of it being a Halloween episode, it is something horror themed. I'm playing Werewolf: The Apocalypse, Earthblood. You guys have probably seen the ads on Facebook that it's down to like $20. Well, I didn't buy it when it was $20. And so I wasn't really expecting much when I did fire it up, because I mean, when it's out for a couple months and it immediately drops 60%, that's usually foreboding. But you know what? It's really fun. It's really fun. It's a moody game, has great visuals. I mean, they throw you right into the shit even before the title screen comes up on the game. It mixes like Metal Gear Solid type of stealthy game with like vicious action gameplay with very graphic violence, brutality, adult language. I mean, there's some really cool stuff. They throw a lot of the lore from the World of Darkness games into it. Like the first quote unquote boss you fight is a black spiral dancer werewolf from the lore, and I was like, oh my god, I remember that. And really cool shit. There's a lot of the stealth stuff, and then when it gets time to get into the shit, that's when you get to turn into the werewolf and just fuck shit up. Like literally, you get the option to hit L1 to rip people in half.
Like you do.
Yes. Check it out if you get a chance. I'm really digging it. I'm a couple hours into it, so I'm really just barely scratching the surface of it. It seems to have a cool storyline, but I hear that it's kind of a short game. But so far, I'm digging it, and I'm hoping there's more World of Darkness games out there that I haven't discovered yet. I believe there's a couple of vampire ones that are around.
You know how to fit it. You know how to win a fight with a werewolf.
Silver.
Toss out a squirrel.
Because we all have squirrels in our pockets just in case.
Listen, when you go into a werewolf fight, you want to make sure you have some squirrels.
I can see this. We're going to go do an investigation. I'm like, Kevin, do you have the werewolf squirrel?
I'll have a whole bag full.
That's awesome. Anybody else playing any current video games right now?
I jumped back into Valhalla.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because didn't they just have a free update to it? Free DLC or something?
I don't know. I don't do downloads or anything like that. I mean, actually,
Haven't gotten there yet.
There was one that was supposed to download, but there's too much stuff on my PS4. So, oh yeah, I jumped back in. I've only played for maybe like an hour and a half or so. So,
Nice. Still loving it?
yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was nice to get back into it for a little bit. I was gonna do that one in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, I have to circle back to that too.
yeah, I decided to go with Valhalla for a little while, so just to see what's going on. So
Awesome.
that's it. I'm not doing much else. So
Grid, you're not much of a gamer, are you? You're a little busy doing all this occult shit.
Yeah, I used to play games.
Used to? Atari 2600?
Yeah, actually. Yeah. No, not playing much. I use the phone apps, whatever, pool.
There you go.
Yeah.
So quite literally pocket pool. That's
An old favorite.
Yes, you could say that. If it's in the phone, it's in the pocket. Oh, yeah, but I used to play all the fancy
Gotcha.
adventure games, storylines, and all that.
Nice. Yeah, we all do that too on the mobiles too. We got all that nonsense going.
Yeah.
And Kevin, you have an update for your Settlers Online for us, right?
Yeah, still freaking around with that stupid game. We're having a Halloween event. You got to collect all the pumpkins to get stuff.
Nice.
It's I don't even know what's wrong with me.
Well, it sounds to me like we should probably then jump right into Kev's tabletop review.
Man, do I have a good one for you this week. I had to stop into the mall the other day, and so I stopped in at Play the Game, Read the Story, and talk to the guy behind the counter. I keep forgetting to ask his name. He had just got a ton of stuff in. I gotta give the guy props. I don't know what's going on with anybody else, but his store was packed, and he was unloading even more stuff. I mean, more new games, more figures, more books. I mean, he's got everything in there. The stuff isn't bargain prices, but if it's the kind of stuff you like, you got to go in and you got to support him. Buy something. So I bought a couple of games there. Talked to him a little bit about what I was looking for, and he showed me a couple of really, really cool games that fit right into the Halloween theme. I bought two, like I said, but the one I want to talk about tonight is Sacred Rights, and I hope that's not too shiny. Sacred Rights. So this is still in the plastic. I'm going to open it tonight and show you what's inside. The really cool part about this game, it doesn't just, not just that it fits the Halloween theme, but it was actually made by a company in Syracuse, New York.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the company folded. They couldn't handle the COVID crisis. They came out, or they incorporated, whatever you want to call them, right before the pandemic started. They were going to hit all the cons and stuff and show off their products. Never did any of it, so it never really went anywhere. So they didn't really do a lot of sales. They did some pre-sales, and they got by okay, but I guess it wasn't good enough, so they folded up. But the sound of the game, if you remember me talking about Bang,
Yes.
the had some dice and some different action cards, things like that. This is along those lines. It's that kind of a game. Let me just read you a little bit about what it says. Let's see. I've got Board Game Geek open, and I've got some other stuff here. It has come time to honor the traditions of the past. The members of our great society have gathered to perform the sacred rites this summer solstice, honoring our most divine symbols and idols, except for the part where not everyone remembers what they are, what they were. To play sacred rites, players take on the mantles of believers, each privately informed of the topic of a rite. The catch, some or sometimes none of the believers are left out, making them outsiders. Each believer then submits what they recall of the rite, such as the chants, the time of day, the food for the feast, or even the special shapes, smells, or colors. Once each believer has helped remember the rite, an accusation occurs. Can each believer point out an outsider? Can the outsiders fake their way through it and guess the topic? In the end, only the most confident, creative, and devout among the believers will be declared the winner and master of ceremonies of the sacred rites. So it's a card game, card-based game, 3 to 9 players. Some really, really, really cool player tokens and stuff going on here. We've got these are wood. Traditions on one side and season on the other. We got a bunch of those. Movement. Oh, look at that. Word. Let's see, tradition on this side. And there's a word on this side. Movement on that side. And a word on the back of this one. So there's a lot of very interesting. What do they call these exactly? I'm going to get into the game. I've actually got the game open on their website. And let's see how they describe this stuff. 74 right cards, 10 blank right cards, and by right I'm seeing the RITE version of right. 12 wooden tradition tiles, 9 believer envelopes, 2 outsider envelopes, 50 wooden flower tokens, and that's going to be these little guys right here, little pink flag, little tokens, little flower tokens, little pink flowers in there. This must be, what is this? These are flower tokens also. So these are white.
So white and pink flowers.
White and pink flowers. Oh, here's the envelopes. This is really neat. I can't wait to try this out. We're going to try this out here pretty quick. If not Halloween night, I highly doubt we're going to do a Halloween night. We tend to get a little bit trashed. But maybe Snowdio weekend up in Old Forge, if it doesn't snow. These are the outsider cards, little cards you get. Little envelopes, rather. These are the envelopes. Oh, this envelope has a window in it. I can't wait to give this a try. I'll get it over here. A little window in there. And then these are the right cards. There's 2 little stacks. Little stack of right cards. And oh, another stack. There's 2 stacks. So very cool. They've got a nice write-up on BoardGameGeek.com about this game, how gameplay moves. I'll do a complete review on it after, I'll do another review on it after we get a chance to play it one time. I'm very, very excited to play. It's very much like Bang. It's the idea that there's some people that know who they are. There's some people that don't know who they are. And you're just trying to trick each other into believing you're someone else, so that you can make it through to the end of the game. It's a fun, kind of fast-paced game. Supposed to take about 30 minutes at the most. The nice part is it keeps everybody in play, so that people aren't just getting kicked out and then they just have to sit by and watch until the next game, which was a nice feature of Bang. Most people kept right in right almost to the very end. So it made it that kind of game makes it really, really fun for everyone that participates. And as I understand it, this is an easier game. The rules are quite simple and allow anyone to just jump in and play it very, very quickly. So again, unfortunately, the company didn't make it, but they were local, so it's kind of neat that way. So I'm looking forward to experiencing this. And
Very cool.
maybe if you're lucky, before the end of the show, I'll bring out the other game and show you what that is.
Oh, very, very cool. All right. Well, I think now's as good a time as any to go to break. We'll throw it to our typical commercials for you guys, including the one that we play twice a show for Grid. Actually, it'll probably be the first one we go to. And when we come back, let's go right to the news. Stick with us, guys. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics. And normally this is where we jump right into the...
Now, before you realize that your expensive ad campaign to heavily promote your new show, Why the Last Man, all over the internet didn't start until the day after you canceled it like Hulu, here's the news. First up, gun safety is no joke. Over the weekend, there was an accidental shooting on the set of the movie Dust that both stars and is being produced by Alec Baldwin. Apparently, Baldwin was handed a gun that was live, and when he fired it, it hit the director and killed the assistant director of photography. Now, this has been a hot topic all over the internet this week. Many details are uncertain and the investigation's ongoing. Half the country feels bad for Alec because he's clearly going to feel great guilt over killing somebody accidentally because they really love his portrayal of our former president on Saturday Night Live. The other half of the country thinks he should be tried for murder because he hurt their feelings by making fun of their big bad orange daddy. Was the shooting truly an accident? The shadow knows. Next up, I'm good at everything except what I can't do. Several schools in the New York area, including some here in Syracuse, are banning the Squid Game costumes for Halloween festivities. They're saying that the Squid Game costumes are tied to violence and that the show on Netflix promotes violence. This is overlooking the fact that traditionally many Halloween costumes have had violent overtones or connections. Pirates were notoriously nasty. Ghosts, they are literally fucking dead people. And that Captain Kirk mask is a gateway to serial killing in Illinois. No wonder I fucking hate people. It was that damn Halloween costume. And you know what? Harley Quinn has done some pretty nasty shit in her past, but that didn't stop every girl from the age of like 3 to 43 from dressing up as her for the past few years. So I feel like this is a bit of a stretch. Now, if they start killing each other on the playground, I will take that back and go make some popcorn. And finally, that's news to me. Now, we have a public service announcement for you. As some of you may know, I had to be tested for COVID last week because I came down with something very serious in my chest. Turned out to be a respiratory infection, but it was pretty bad. I mean, I couldn't tell the difference. So I went on Walgreens and Walmart.com and everywhere I could to find an appointment to get a COVID test. And I eventually ended up booking one at Walmart. Well, this wasn't really clear on their website. And I want to warn everybody, if you book a test at Walmart, they're not actually going to give you a test. Well, they're literally going to give you a test. It's not indicated there, but you will park your car outside. Somebody will come out with a COVID test on one of those gripper things that old people use to grab shit off the top shelf and whip it in your window and say, follow the instructions and mail it in via FedEx by 3 o'clock today. No joke. Can't breathe, feel like I'm dying. And they're like, hey, you're the doctor now. A denial of service, a denial of testing, a denial of responsibility. So I want everyone to be aware of that. You know, I spent the last week sucking on my inhaler, which has now become so often used that along with my glasses has almost completed my nerd action pack. If I had known that was the case, I probably would have gone somewhere else where they could have performed the test for me. But if you need to get tested, just be aware. Walmart's going to employ you like their self-checkout line. Butt up your nose. And that's the news, kids. Now I need to go look up the phone number to the little church thrift store in Skinny Atlas I was at over the weekend. They had an original Annabelle doll, not the literal one from the movies, but the actual Raggedy Ann looking thing that it's based on. I almost bought it. And then I said to myself, that's dangerous. You know, miss me with that sealed fate bullshit. But after some thought, I'm thinking, you know what? I'd rather have that power in my pocket than let someone else possess it for their own means. Paul?
In other news, the Devil's Bible exists. And it's a contract between a monk and Satan. Back to you, Corbs.
To me, come back to me after that. I don't know.
That's a real thing. It's called the Codex Gigas. Gigas?
Gigas. The Codex Giggity.
Giggity. Giggity.
Giggity, giggity.
This thing fucking hurts.
You're
The
not
fact that-
kidding.
The fact that I can still fit into this shirt. I mean, I don't fit into it well.
Corpse, look out behind you.
Gunnar Hansen's chasing you.
Oh man.
But that kind of signifies that maybe it's time for Corbs's movie review.
And
Classic
then it is.
movie review. I
So
whiffed that. Sorry.
you did, but that's all right. We'll let it slide this time. All right. So I'm gonna do the first horror movie that I ever watched, and it probably scared me from watching horror movies for the rest of my life. So the year is 1974. A group of 5 close friends are heading through the back roads of Texas en route to their grandfather's potentially vandalized grave. Among them are Sally Hardesty and her invalid brother Franklin. They encounter an unpleasant hitchhiker, Neil, who slashes both himself and Franklin with a wicked-looking knife. Brothers manage to eject the hitchhiker from the vehicle, but shortly afterwards, they are forced to stop and wander over to a small, sinister clapboard house nearby in hopes for gas. What none of them realize is this house is the home of the ghoulish Leatherface and his evil, demented family of cannibalistic psychopaths. One at a time, the teens are murdered by Leatherface in horrifying ways. Sally soon finds herself an involuntary guest of Leatherface's home and flees into the night to escape the demented cannibal and his loudly buzzing chainsaw. Can she escape the grim fate that befell her friends and brother? This is all based on the true story of Ed Gein.
Gein, right, Hugh?
Gein.
Ed Gein.
We look to Hugh for all of our serial killer knowledge.
Of course you do. Look at me.
I was gonna say you look like a fucking serial killer.
So yeah, so I did choose Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like I said, it was the first horror movie that I watched. It was the last horror movie that I watched. So you could say it turned me off to horror movies, I guess, because it was pretty weird, demented, scary as fuck. This isn't talking the original. I've not seen any of the remakes or the.
You know, it's funny because I love that movie because I'm supposed to, because I'm a horror geek. But that movie is fucking boring for like the first half to 3/4 of the movie.
It takes a while
Franklin,
to get there.
Sally. I mean, he's just such a whiny bitch. It's like, shut the fuck up. I wish someone would kill you already.
And then they did.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
it gets good. But yeah, it takes a really long time to get moving.
So yeah, that's the movie I chose. So
And since it turned you off to it, does that make it a bad movie to you, or?
no, I mean it's a classic horror movie, but I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. But
See, I love it. I love the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Phenomenal movie. Again, very slow going to get there. Gets you there, but fantastic fucking movie.
You know, I know why Batman doesn't smile now with these things on the side. I can't smile. I was trying to like do like a or something, but I can't do it. It's like hard plastic.
Grid.
Yeah.
You've seen it, right? What do you think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Guy scratches. This is what I remember was the guy with like the clothes hanger. And he was scratching the top of his head, and he was gnawing on the flesh afterwards.
Yeah.
Was that the first one or the sequel?
That's the first one.
I can't remember now.
I know what he's talking about.
I
don't
do
remember
too.
which one
And
is
it wasn't it
either.
Matthew McConaughey playing him or something?
Matthew McConaughey was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation.
yeah,
Like a
Way later.
him and Renee Zellweger.
You're right.
Not
You're
that
right.
either
That's
of
way
them
too
will
early.
admit that.
The one I'm thinking of, because this one came out in '78.
Probably watched the original. It's probably 7 years old.
So do we want to know what our good friend Roger Ebert had to say about this movie?
Yeah, I'd like to know what he had to say.
Actually, after you tell us how many stars you give it, Corbs. Sorry.
I give it 3 chainsaws.
Ooh, nice. All right. Well, Ebert, as shocking as it is, gave it 2 stars. And
I'm not
he
shocked.
says, now here's a grisly little item. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is as violent and gruesome and blood-soaked as the title promises. A real grand gignol of a movie. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Guginol, Guginol.
Yes. It's also without any apparent purpose, unless the creation of disgust and fright is a purpose. Yeah. And yet, in its own way, the movie is some kind of weird, off-the-wall achievement.
What are you
I can't-
doing back there? My child trying to sneak up on me.
Nice. I can't imagine why anyone would want to make a movie like this, and yet it's well made, well acted, and all too effective. This guy really doesn't get horror movies, does he?
No.
The movie's based on factual material according to the narration that opens it. For all I know, that's true, although I can't recall having heard of these particular crimes, and the distributor provides no documentation. Not that it matters. A true crime movie like Richard Brooks' In Cold Blood, which studies the personalities and compulsions of 2 killers, dealt directly with documented material and was all the more effective for that. Also a very good movie, by the way, and the book's even better. But the Chainsaw Texas Massacre, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre could have been made up from whole cloth without any apparent difference. No motivation, no background, no speculation on causes is evident anywhere in the film. It's simply an exercise in terror. It's a fucking horror movie. Of course it is. It takes place in an isolated area of Texas,
Texas.
which 5 young people, one of them in a wheelchair, are driving through in their camper van. They pick up a weirdo hitchhiker who carries his charms and magic potions around his neck and who giggles insanely while he cuts himself on the hand and then slices at the paraplegic. Sorry.
You can't
They
treat
get-
him different.
they get rid of him, so they think. But then they take a side trip to a haunted looking old house, as one does, which some of them had been raised in. Really? The 2 girls laugh as they clamber through the litter on the floor, but one of the guys notices some strange totems and charms, which should give him warning. They don't. He and his girlfriend set off for the old swimming hole, find it dried up, and then see a farmhouse nearby. The guy goes to ask about borrowing some gasoline and disappears inside. His girl gets tired of waiting for him, knocks on the door, and disappears inside too. A lot of people are going to be disappearing into this house, and its insides are a masterpiece of set decoration and the creation of mood. We see the innocent victims being clubbed on the hand, hung from meat hooks, and gone after with the chainsaw. We see rooms full of strange altars made from human bones and rooms filled with chicken feathers and charms and weird relics. And gradually we realize that the house is inhabited by a demented family of retarded murderers and grave robbers.
He said that?
Why are
Yes,
they?
he did.
You can't treat him different.
Wow.
Right? Different time. It was 1974.
That's true.
I know, but I mean, I can see me saying that in 1974. I'm surprised he did.
Oh, it's too bad we're calling this the Halloween Spooktacular. Probably for the best, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they get fresh victims, they carve them up with great delight. What they do with the bodies is a little obscure, but they run a barbecue stand down the road. One way or another, all the kids get killed by the maniac waving the chainsaw, except one girl, who undergoes a night of panic and torture, who escapes not once, but twice, who leaps through no fewer than 2 windows, and who screams endlessly. Hate it when women do that. All this material, as you can imagine, is scary and unpalatable. Palatable.
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 Christ.
Palpatine?
Snoogans.
What?
But the movie is good, technically, and with its special effects, and we have to give it grudging admiration on that level, despite all the waving of the chainsaw. There is, for example, an effective montage of quick cuts of the last girl's screaming face and popping eyeballs. There are bizarrely effective performances by the demented family. One of them, of course, turns out to be the hitchhiker, and his grandfather looks like Dustin Hoffman in Little Big Man. What we're all left with, though, is an effective production in the service of an unnecessary movie. It is necessary. Horror and exploitation films almost always turn a profit if they're brought in at the right price. So they provide a good starting place for ambitious would-be filmmakers who can't get more conventional projects off the ground. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre belongs in a select company with Night of the Living Dead and Last House on the Left of films that are really a lot better than the genre requires. Not, however, that you'd necessarily enjoy seeing it.
I don't know. Those are some pretty damn good movies.
Yeah. Especially since he put them in the company of those two. Yeah. I feel like we should be reviewing Batman right now. I'm just saying.
Or Batman should be reviewing you.
Swear to me.
He's
Like,
Batman.
I'm trying to do the eyes. I mean, I got the crazy eyes going.
You definitely have the crazy eyes.
But you know,
going.
I keep looking to the left or right, and then when I look back at the screen, the camera is a little bit off, so I actually see my eyeball go from right to straight. It's so weird.
Kevin's waving over there for something.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You're watching AEW, right?
Yes.
Now that I dyed the fucking beard, I have a fucking John Moxley vibe going on over here, and it's creeping me out every time I look at myself.
That or QT Marshall, one of the two.
I've actually yet to
With the
see him
hat?
wrestle on there.
With the hat.
I'll have to look him up.
He's the guy that's always hanging out with no, not Kenny Omega. No, I'm thinking of Rhodes to the Top. He hangs out with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
But,
it's like
anyway.
I saw Jim Duggan with me.
What
What?
was that?
He looks like Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
I don't have a 2x4. Maybe on the next break. um. All right. Holy shit, we should be throwing it to break now, but do we want to jump into some of our Halloween goodness before we do that?
Cool.
All right. So I threw a bunch of topics at you guys about what Halloween means to you and blah 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 blah. So let's start off with some of this. We're gonna do some roundtable stuff. What is the one movie or TV show that gets you into the Halloween mood? Grid, we'll start with you.
What? Halloween movie or TV show?
Yeah, something you watch like every year that just gets you into the spooky mood.
Oh God, I don't really watch nothing like that. But that being said, I'd have to say, well, I'd watch like the old Mike Myers movies there, the Halloween movies, and I'd
Nice.
listen to what I would do. What I used to do in the past was throw on some King Diamond and play the song Halloween. And
All right, that works too. I didn't even think about music.
yeah.
Nice. I don't know that
Christmas,
song.
too. We have the Christmas song too. I get that. Yeah, it's a nice one. Get it too. No one likes that idea though. Like these things about not having presents for Christmas.
That's interesting.
Yeah, the kids don't like that.
I'm sure they
No.
don't.
Kids wouldn't like that at all.
Hugh, what about you?
You know, interestingly enough, I don't have a specific movie I watch or TV show I watch for Halloween. I try to I consume as much horror as I can year round, but I kick it into high gear when October comes around. I can say that I'm currently working my way through the there's your 2x4.
Yeah, I
Working,
don't know if I'm supposed to be trying to reach for it or
I'm working my way through the Hammer horror movies, which oddly enough I've never watched.
Nice.
So I am watching all the Christopher Lee, Dracula, and Frankenstein stuff. Also went back and watched Lucio Fulci's Zombie from 1978 or 79, depending on where in the world you were when they released it. He's one of the godfathers of the zombie genre, and the movie was actually kind of marketed as a sequel to George Romero's Dawn of the Dead in Italy, even though it has nothing to do with it, which is odd. But they did shit like that back in those days. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but I did learn something really cool. This movie's famous for a fight between a zombie and a shark. There's a section that happens underwater, and a zombie fights a shark. What I didn't know when I saw it years ago, and now we have the internet, I looked it up. I'm watching it, last week, and I'm like, holy crap, that's a real shark. It's a fucking tiger shark. It really is. They took a tiger shark, they fed it a bunch so that it was full, and then they drugged it. And then they took a guy in zombie makeup, put him underwater, and he really fucking wrestled with this thing. In fact, at one point, they put his prosthetic arm, I'm assuming, in the shark's mouth, and the shark actually rips it off and goes away with it. I mean, it's not anything you could possibly do now, but I was like, holy shit, they were fucking crazy.
Wow.
Can you
Yeah,
believe that?
that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, but yeah, just trying to consume as much as I can. That's what I do when Halloween rolls
Nice.
around.
Corbs.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't watch much. Like I don't do much. As you guys know, I'm not a horror fan, so I'm watching, just regular movies.
He's watching the World Series. That's what he's watching.
I did.
I'm sure you did.
I did watch some of it. I actually watched the first couple innings of that, but we'll talk about that later.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, again, I don't sit around watching like horror movies or whatever. So I'm not a big. I don't watch anything that gets me in the Halloween mood. To me, it's just another day to go out and get some rotten teeth. So
Get them rotten teeth. Gotta love it. You can just go to Fulton any day of the week. But
it's true.
For me, and I think I've mentioned it before, it's The Crow. I watch it every year without fail, the night before Halloween, obviously after the kids go to bed. I love that movie. That was the movie I had held the record for seeing most in the theater. I think I saw it 17 times in the theater.
Jesus.
Wow.
I had a girlfriend who worked for the movie
Oh,
theater at the time, so I didn't have to pay for any of them. but I love that movie. Love everything about it. If I was in shape, I would probably do the whole crow costume for Halloween between 94 and now, but I've always been a fat ass, so that doesn't work. Leather pants.
Same.
One of my favorites. It's always been one of my favorites. I'm pretty sure that's one of the movies that I have in every physical medium. VHS all the way up through Blu-ray. Every time we get a new kind of physical medium, I make sure I get a copy of that. It's that in Clerks. So
When it comes out on Goofy discs, you're gonna buy it on Goofy discs.
yes. I'm actually thinking we probably won't get more physical media, will we? Like we've probably come to
I
the
don't
end of
think
that.
so.
So
You would think.
we would hope. Now, Kev, I'm looking at the spreadsheet, so I know what you're about to say, and I'm also excited about this one. Go ahead.
It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Come on.
Yes.
It's the best Halloween movie there is.
We also own that here on physical media, only on Blu-ray, because I felt the need to get that for the kids.
Yeah, you know, we've never really been one for how, you know, the horror movies, and we watch a few here and there. I've seen all the, you know, the Halloween movies and the you know, Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and you know, the mainstream stuff. But to say that I actually go out and look for them and watch them, I don't do that. Halloween to me is more about getting drunk and handing out candy and yeah, exactly. Waiting until the older Harley Quinns show up at my door.
There you go.
And the sad part is I will never get to go partake in this party going because I fucking have kids. So
We go all night. Sometimes pretty late.
Put the kids to bed and then go.
right.
You know what's
It's
the
usually
really fun
too late
part-
for me by then.
The really fun part
What time
is
do kids go to bed?
No, that's not the problem. The problem is while they're off trick-or-treating and I'm manning the candy bowl here, I'm also tipping them back pretty good.
oh yeah.
So-
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I understand.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, do you hand out beers to the parents that are walking around? See, Kev knows what I'm talking about. My buddy 3-Iron. My son used to go over to their neighborhood and walk around, and like every third or fourth house, the parents would be outside, and they'd be sitting around like a fire, drinking beers, and the kids would come up and get candy, and the parents go up and get a beer. And you walk around the neighborhood drinking beers.
Let me tell you about last year. Because it was the COVID area and we really didn't want to interact with people. We did the whole thing. I set up a table that was all in goodie bags, and the kids were supposed to take one goodie bag each. Blah 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 blah. Well, it worked because I was monitoring the situation from my driveway. Yep, in my lawn chair, I had the fire pit out and my cooler, going to town, and
See where this is going.
and we had people come around. And I was asked if I had any extra beer by the Smoking Hot MILF. So I looked at her, I'm like, are you serious? Yeah, come here. And so she hung out for a few minutes as the kids finished up the road, you know, as Kristen and the rest walked up.
Sometimes risking COVID is worth it.
Right. It was. I'm hoping she comes back this year because we have the same game plan this year. But I'll be in my Chris Pratt costume, so that'll probably drive her off.
Probably.
I mean, should I betray Kylie and stick with Silent Bob out there?
If she's a hot milk, she has no idea who Kevin Smith is. I'm sorry.
True.
That's true.
You're not wrong.
You're gonna have better luck with Chris Pratt.
Wait, like actually try to get him or like?
Probably, yes.
Maybe it would be better for you.
All right. Next up on our Halloween list, the best Halloween candy. Grid, you want to start?
What? Oh. Candy corn.
Oh,
Okay.
Because it works for Christmas and Halloween. That's my favorite, isn't
that's true.
it?
And it's good year
Personally,
after
Reese's
year.
peanut butter cups.
The same bag.
All right.
Because nobody eats it.
But I eat that stuff like candy.
It's funny how that works. Hugh, what do you think?
I think the best candy is anything with caramel. Sugar babies, those things on the sticks. I don't know. Caramel is my thing. And if it's got caramel in it, I am all about it.
Nice. Corbs.
Peanut butter cups,
Okay, you're not wrong.
but I can't eat them anymore. So
I mean, most of us on this fucking podcast can't be
No,
eating this shit.
peanut butter will make me throw up now. I don't know what the fuck happened, but can't eat peanut butter at all. Can't eat peanut butter anything. I can't have it. I eat the Girl Scout cookies, the peanut butter cooker, the tagalongs. Used to love those. Can't eat those. Makes me sick. Can't eat peanut butter cups. Makes me sick. Can't eat Reese's Pieces Sundays. The peanut butter syrup, the sauce in there makes me sick. So
Wow.
can't eat peanut butter. But
That sucks.
I love Reese's Pieces. I love peanut butter cups. Those are the best. They were the best. I used to, when I got them, toss them in the freezer till they're rock hard.
Wait, the peanut butter cups are you? Like what?
Exactly. Exactly.
I know how it works with us fat guys. Just saying.
You're not wrong in either sense.
All right, I'm gonna hop in here again, and I've got to say the best Halloween candy is when you get a full size candy bar. It can be a Snickers, it can be Twix, it's anything full size. Again,
But
Fat guy.
Three Musketeers is kind of lame.
see, I actually like Three Musketeers.
It's kind of like, we could make something as good as a Snickers, but we don't really want to try that hard. And that's how the Three Musketeers came about.
The slacker of candy.
We
There you go.
ran out of peanuts. Okay, well,
only-
just call it something else.
You only eat Three Musketeers when you don't have anything else.
Exactly.
This is also true because I never do elect to grab a Three Musketeers anytime.
Those are always the last ones in there.
Or Milk Duds. Those are always at the bottom of the bucket too.
Yeah.
I like Milk Duds.
So yeah, they've never. Or Whoppers.
Milk Duds have caramel in them.
Mm.
I am hoping that kid comes back this year and tries to grab 2 candy bars again because I am fucking ready for him.
You gonna
I
stab
got
him?
last year too. No, I might. Probably not.
Batman.
No, I don't want to get arrested. Yeah, I'll take him into Arkham. No, I think I told you about this. So I'm out there. I mean, we give out full-size candy bars because we're trying to get people to trick or treat in our neighborhood. This group of kids comes up, everyone grabs one. This one kid reaches in and grabs 2. I'm like, whoa, dude, those are full-size candy bars. Take one. And he's like, oh.
Good. Fuck that little fucker.
Wow.
Now, Kev, you're kind of going in a different angle with this.
Well, so I was thinking about myself, right? I'm thinking, okay, so now that I'm an adult, and what have I liked as an adult? So my answer was Jack and Ginger because that's my favorite candy. That's the sweetest drink I'll drink, so it's like candy to me. But I'm going to throw this out there, and there's a special reason behind it. So I'm going to say Smarties.
Oh,
I know people either love them or hate them, and they don't like them. It's because, well, that's just compressed sugar. Here's my story. My cousin has a son named Todd, and he's on the spectrum. He's got Asperger's, very, very high functioning. He's got a job now. He's finished college. Got his own car. I mean, he's doing great. Still lives at home, but he's really doing great. That kid, I said one time that I like Smarties. He saves every roll of Smarties he gets on Halloween for me.
Nice.
Aw.
oh, that's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Smarties are popular in this house too. Madison's big on them.
Yep.
So
He still does it. If they hand out candy or whatever, and they have a bowl of candy or whatever, and he can get some Smarties, he'll still save them out for me. And when I'll go over there, he'll pull the little jar he's got them. Hey Kev, here's your Smarties.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
So,
cool.
so Smarties. There you
Nice. All right. Well, we're gonna throw this to break again, and then we'll finish up the Halloween discussions when we come back, and then we'll get into the rest of the show. Sound good, boys?
Yeah.
All right. Stick
To the
with us.
back cave, Paul.
Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a key back issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore. Located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking, Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics. And well,
Hello.
What the fuck?
okay.
Life isn't divided into genres. I'm
was
the only person
continuing
that
on.
understands art.
No, I know what you're supposed
I
to
got
be.
your grappling hook here, and you
Well-
changed costumes on me.
I don't know what the fuck's going on
I
down
will
there.
never work for them again.
What am I looking at?
I'm Alan Moore, the writer of Watchmen, and I'm very angry all the time.
Oh. Any relation to Roger Moore?
Not that I
Oh.
know of, and if so, he can fuck off.
That's fucking awesome.
We're gonna have an Alec Baldwin moment here.
Someone's gonna get
I
shot.
can't pull that off. Oh,
Oh, that's not right.
Okay.
Funny, but
Uh,
not right.
Welcome back, guys.
Popper!
Okay, you have to introduce the dog.
Oh, that's Belle. That's my other team member.
Belle? Is that what you said?
Bell.
Yeah, Belle.
Hi, Bell.
Okay. That's Belle.
Yeah, we take her out there to see if she can sense stuff and stuff.
Nice. You know what? That's the perfect opportunity. Before we go any further, Grid, the floor is yours. Tell them all about what you're doing and about your YouTube page.
Well,
Channel? Sorry, channel.
you know, well, I started out going. I started out. My daughter was a little preoccupied with death, so I thought it was a little unhealthy the way she was going about it. So I said, "Well, listen, I want a YouTube channel, and I didn't have any content." And I'm like, "You want to explore this? I've already done this back in, I had a nervous breakdown when I was younger, so I was like, you know what? I explored a little bit of, religion, and paranormal, and anything I could get my hands on, And so I said, well, I already explored this, but to be safer, I'll go take you out. And we did try to take her out a couple times, but she hasn't been around lately. So I'm basically doing it for her to show her that, okay, there is something out there. You don't need to kill yourself to find it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can just go out there with a camera and, K2 meter. And if you go out there in the night, you don't know what's cracking that log next to you. You know what I mean? And you're like, whoa, what's going on here?
it's the werewolf squirrel.
Right, exactly. Whatever the heck. It was like the other night we were out there, Whiskey Hollow. We're standing there in the dark, and all of a sudden we hear this ginormous crack in the middle of the woods, and we don't know what the hell it was. So we jumped in the truck and, became cowards.
Now, he was telling me that story the other day, talking about all the weird shit that was going on and how they peeled out of there. And as we do, I busted his balls about, I said, I thought you guys were professionals. Like, what the fuck? You're running like bitches.
Oh,
I mean, though, I really can't blame him. If shit gets super weird, I can understand wanting to excuse yourself from the situation. But I don't think Alan Moore would do that.
Whiskey Hollow Road is. It's just like you're just up in
Alan
there.
Moore will fuck those ghosts right in the ass.
Right, yeah, well.
Wow. Very
Ew.
dark.
They don't know anything about comics.
I'm telling you, a bag of squirrels.
type of squirrels.
Hugh, was this one specifically for me? Because I think I'm the only one that gets it and I'm really enjoying it.
I don't know. It just came to me.
That's awesome.
The hair looks real.
It is my real hair, you shit. Did you not know I have long hair?
Oh. Did I not know that?
I guess not, but that's legit Hugh's hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great costume. You just have that with you all year.
Right. You just need to throw on the fucking jacket and the
brush my
background.
beard out.
All right, so let's continue on with the Halloween nonsense. We left off with the best Halloween candy. So conversely, guys, what's the worst Halloween candy?
Mm-hmm.
Grid, start us off, buddy.
Popcorn balls. No, I think I had a hard time with the caramel apples. It was just too healthy. You know what I mean? It was covered in caramel. But once you bit into it, you had that healthy food underneath. You know?
Right. It tricks you into being healthy.
Yeah, exactly. What's up with that? I had this one lady when I was a kid. She always gave us popcorn balls, and they weren't bad. You know, every year she'd make a half a ton. And then the neighbor across the street, she'd make hot fudge. I don't know if we were the only kids that got it, but you know.
She just like would whip hot fudge at you guys. It sounds like it was more of a deterrent than a treat.
Right. Yeah,
What'd
she's a nice old lady. Yeah,
What'd
she
you
wouldn't
put
do
it on?
Him. They're just-
Oh.
I'm gonna jump in here because I mean, Grid's stealing my shit. I was gonna also say popcorn balls. I remember as a kid, like we actually had people in town who would do the homemade popcorn balls, not prepackaged, like that, or anything that is a non-food. Like the crazy old ladies that'll give you like the plastic vampire teeth or pennies, or you get the weird ones that will drop the religious pamphlets in your bucket instead. Not okay, guys. It's not okay.
Oh yeah, don't forget not. Don't drop the razor blades in there either. I just can't.
I kind of like
figure
that
out 'em.
adventure.
They're a little tough. You know what I mean?
Wait, you know what? Am I gonna get a needle? Am I not?
Just give them the razor
Doesn't have
blades
to be.
outside of the apple, so they
Right.
can choose what to do with it.
I just had a great idea for freaking gifts for my party attendees. But go ahead.
Razor blade apples?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
The needle. Give me an idea. Go
Oh
ahead.
boy,
Oh boy.
I'm concerned.
You got that
Corbs,
many? Me?
yes. Worst
Raisins.
Halloween candy. Raisins. Yes. The little boxes of raisins. I forgot
Yes.
about those.
Yeah. Yeah. Should have said those.
Hated those. We used to, when we'd get them when we'd leave the house, we'd take them and throw them back at the house.
Oh,
And Alan Moore.
Fucking dots. Now I'm not talking about the little jelly dots. I'm talking about the candy dots on the paper. You know what
Oh,
I'm talking
yeah.
about? That
Have you
basically
got
taste
those?
just like the paper. Oh, they're awful.
And you'd peel them, and some of the paper would actually come off on the
Yes.
can. Yes.
Were they dots or were they acid?
No, they
Yes.
definitely. I know what acid is. Look at me. This was not acid.
You were expecting acid and got dots. No wonder you're
Not
pissed.
when I was 7.
Oh well, you never. I don't
I
know.
mean,
Different time.
there isn't
Could
much to
happen
do up
last
there,
year.
so-
I don't know.
13, 14. You know that then maybe.
All right. And finally, Kevin.
Fucking candy corn.
Grid's
Yeah.
favorite is
Ah,
Kev's. Like
It's
the
wax.
worst.
It's like wax. I mean, it almost doesn't have any flavor.
And I've had to buy 3 bags of those already this year because Kylie loves them.
Oh,
I don't get it.
bleh.
But
What's even-
moving on.
You know what's worse than candy corn?
Nothing.
The candy pumpkins made out of the same freaking stuff.
Yeah, they're thicker. There's more of that crap to chew through and swallow.
I gotta tell you, those almost went in the prize pack. I almost bought a bag of them and put them in the prize pack.
Oh, it's not
Yeah,
a prize pack.
Your house would have gotten egged.
It's a freaking loser's basket of
I'm
horror.
kind of disappointed these days with Cracker Jacks.
In
Wow.
general or
What'd they do?
for Halloween?
it was for these days. You know what I mean? I got a tattoo. Where's my little plastic airplane that was in there before? You know what I mean? You're flying around. Now I got to stick a tattoo on. What is this? You know what I mean?
You're not wrong. Yeah, I remember
Times
that
they
too.
are changing.
Yes. Inflation. Now all you get is a fucking tattoo that doesn't even come off properly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, half a butterfly or whatever. Yeah. Where am I supposed to put my tramp stamp? How am I supposed to do that?
You just have to buy more Cracker Jack to get the other half of the butter.
The other half.
Well, then I got a lot of butterflies on my ass. What's going on here?
All right. So now we're going to moving into the costume category. Guys, think back. And for most of us, it was a long time ago. What was your favorite Halloween costume you ever did? I suppose we can throw cosplay in there too if you want, instead of specifically on Halloween. But favorite costume you remember from back in the day, or today, whatever. Grid, gonna keep starting with you, man.
Can't say I had a favorite. I remember the costumes I made. I made a robot out of paper bags and the tinfoil crap. I know I was Casper at one point. Me and my brother was on it. When I had my kid and she was like a year old, I was like a 70s porn star director walking around. I think that's on my Facebook.
Perfect.
And then I think that was it. I was a pirate at one point, the standard cowboy. I don't remember having a favorite costume.
All right.
All the masks always creeped me out anyway. People looking around with all the plastic mask on their face.
I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. Hugh.
My favorite costume would have been somewhere between 2000 and 2005. I don't know what year it was beyond that, but it's when I worked at AT&T, and it was back when I did the Kevin Smith thing too. I did Mankind, Mick Foley's Mankind.
Nice.
My mother-in-law at the time was very handy, and she actually stitched together a leather mask and riveted it and everything. I mean, it was a replica that
That's
she
awesome.
built based off the pictures I could get of the mask. Had the white office shirt, the tie, wore sweatpants, the whole 9 yards. And I'm actually looking to see if I got a picture of it, because I had long hair then too. It wasn't quite as curly as his, but it was perfect. It was awesome.
Nice. Yeah, if you can find a picture, get them to me, guys, before this goes up, and we'll add all this stuff on too. Corbs, what about you?
To be honest with you, I can't remember too many costumes that I had. A lot of times it was probably sports related or whatnot. One time I dressed up as a baseball player. Shocker,
Surprise.
right? I think I walked around. I think I had a Oakland A's baseball bat. I think I had an Oakland A's jersey, so I walked around as an Oakland A's player. I think that was a lot of times what it was. I mean, it was just stupid shit like that. So a lot of times I just went out as a bum, like I am now. So
Now that you've removed the jacket, yes.
yeah,
It's funny. I have the same T-shirt, by the way.
I know you do. I have a few of them. So not of the green one. I have different ones. I have a long sleeve one. I have one that's from New York. I have one other one, I think. So
I still wish I would have done my my plan for graduation from ITT. Did I ever tell you that?
no.
I was gonna have hoodies made for you, Charlie, and I, with
Okay.
with a full back rocker and everything.
Nice.
Yep. Ran out of time before graduation, but they would have been pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it would have been.
My favorite costume is also from adulthood. Before we had kids, we used to have yearly Halloween parties, and we always had a bunch of cool stuff. One year, my mother-in-law made me a Green Lantern costume, it ended up being kind of a train wreck because I was wearing white gloves because I was Hal Jordan, and so I refused to eat the whole night, but I drank heavily, so that was a pretty rough night. But my favorite one, and it made a reappearance at Madison's birthday party few years back, I think 7 years back now. Hugh, you were there. This was the giant Star Wars party.
Yep, I remember
Um,
that.
Yep. And again, my mother-in-law made me the costume, and it was a Jedi Knight outfit. And you can attest to this. It was pretty fucking legit, right?
It was. It definitely was.
I almost wore it tonight, but because Hugh had seen it before, I didn't go with it. It's black and silver, black and grayish, I guess. I was going more of like Anakin Skywalker inspired, like darker colors like that, instead of all the muted tans and all that. And it came out pretty good. I'll post pictures of that. I know I have pictures of that, especially from Madison's party. But that was my personal favorite. And Kev, I have been waiting all night to hear this story. Excuse me, why don't you tell us about your favorite Halloween costume?
Well, of course, there's a backstory.
Of course.
So I was working, I was part-time security out the nuke plant, and a woman I worked with wanted to hook me up with one of her friends. So I was seeing this woman for a little while. She freshly broken up from some long-term relationship, so she was obviously in her right mind. And the two of them wanted me to dress like a pimp, and they
Perfect.
were going to be my girls. And
Outstanding.
it was a fantastic party. It was a fantastic party. I had this horrible blue suit with these white pinstripes and these white saddle shoes, and these two women on my left side and right side that really didn't wear much at all. And it was a great party.
Outstanding.
So that's absolutely the best costume I ever wore.
Well, just so you know, the link we have for that is the stereotypical pimp costume you used to find back on the early 2000s, the bright purple one. So that's the one we're referencing, just so you know.
I mean, it really was. It was a horrible. I mean, it had the frilly, lacy white, tuck shirt underneath. I mean, it was horrible. Remember,
so
there used to be,
almost like Austin Powers is kind of where you're going with it.
it really was. There used to be a costume store downtown, somewhere near Carousel Mall. There was a Halloween place in there that did costumes, and I went there to get it, and they hooked me up. I rented the costume. I mean, it
Nice.
wasn't inexpensive.
Doherty's Masquerade.
That's it.
I loved
almost
that
positive
place.
that's what it was. Almost positive. The
I
lady
love
hooked
that
me up.
place.
While I was in there, they had a full Batman costume, and I'm like, why couldn't I just be Batman? The original TV Batman costume, so the gray with the dark. Yeah,
Nice.
I wanted to be freaking Adam West Batman.
Outstanding. And now we're going to move into the converse of that, the worst costume experience you had. Good. Go.
I'd have to say the pirate costume, because you had to tie it up in the knot right up there in your chest, like a girl, and you had all your, pirate gems on, and then you're walking around freezing your nipples off in the middle of the freaking cold October.
Wait, were you a pirate or were you a gay pirate? Like,
I don't know.
what you're describing here, my friend.
That's the way it was in the 80s. You just dressed up like that, and you had the thing to make it look like, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I had help making the costume, you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
So I guess they were dressing the gay pirate, and I was trying to be just a regular pirate.
It sounds like someone punked you. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, maybe.
Corbs, what about you?
Can't top that. Me and my friend dressed up as Mexican gangsters.
Oh God.
Flannel shirts, buttoned up at the top, opened up all the way down. Bandana down over your eyes, type of thing. Yeah.
So basically, we cannot put these pictures up because it'll get us canceled. Like, that's all. It's all the worst of cultural appropriation.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was probably it.
All right. You.
Angry Hugh.
Probably Casper the Friendly Ghost. I hated that costume. My parents got it for me. It was one of those, we went last minute, go to the store because we're poor, and that was the last costume there was. and it was the lamest thing in the world. And that's what I did. I don't remember what age I was, but it sucked. I was not happy about
You
that.
just had a sheet over your head.
No, it was basically a plastic white sheet and a Casper mask.
Oh,
Yes,
one
because
of
back
those.
in the 80s, that's what we got.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember all the costumes were the same, like plastic union suit
yeah.
that kind of would look like the character and then have like the advertisement for the character in the middle of the chest.
Yep.
Yes. See that rolls right into mine. Because mine was in 1985, I think. And it was He-Man. And it was the same kind of Ben Cooper idea, vinyl costume that is about as thick as a fucking piece of paper. And the plastic mask that legit would like slice your fucking lip open before the night was over.
Yeah.
Yes. And I remember this was the year that it fucking snowed on Halloween. It was practically a blizzard. We were out there in my costume and whatever clothes I was wearing underneath. And it was like one of those surprise, here's the fucking snow. And we were out for like 5 minutes. I think I slipped on like fucking an icy sidewalk. The costume like split up the fucking legs. So it went from being like a pair of pants to like a fucking kilt. And and like I said, I mean, I was cutting my face up. It was just a horrible fucking experience. But that's not the only bad one, because when we brought up Doherty's Masquerade, it reminded me of another costume from adulthood that has been mentioned here before on the show. That
Got your parachute pants.
no costume, not everyday wear.
Well, though, yeah, I was going to say that was his everyday.
No, this was when we had the Frozen party for Madison, and I was charged with playing the role of not Sven. What's the other one? Kristoff. The guy, the boy from Frozen.
Never seen it.
What?
What?
Kristoff. I know we posted the pictures of that before. And not only was it humiliating that I had to be a Disney character, but I also actually got a speeding ticket on my way to buy the wig for that, because I was rushing on my lunch break and got pulled over on 690 on the way. Because I had to go buy a blonde wig because not blonde.
Where are you going in such a hurry? Buy
Right.
a blonde wig? Might have let you off just on pity.
Right.
alone.
They should have, but they didn't. So yeah, that was a pretty awful one, because I remember the party when I made my entrance, which it was well received by everybody except Kristen's dad, who's a big manly man. Like, he's an up north guy. He's all into the outdoorsy stuff and work with your hands. And I walked down the stairs in my costume with my pointy boots and my blonde boy band wig, and he looks me up and down and says, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
He got asked that question many times.
I'm sure he has.
No, we have.
You're lucky he didn't say, okay, who really impregnated my daughter?
Right. Who did you pay? Yeah. So Kevin, you have a very ambiguous answer here on the list for this.
Oh man, when I was a kid, I hated them all because they didn't fit me. If you bought a costume for a certain age, they didn't fit me. I think I was born 6 foot tall. I swear to God,
Your poor mother.
I was always taller than all the other kids. I mean, and nothing ever fit me. And it wasn't until I was in my 20s before I started actually finding clothes that actually, were made for somebody my size. But no, I hated costumes, hated dressing up. I always thought I looked like an idiot.
That will ruin it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, like when all of us were growing up, Halloween costumes sucked.
Well, I mean, there's that now. I mean, I know that now, but
yeah.
Then you're like, you buy the costume, you're like, well, I'm really gonna look like a clown. Well, you look like a fucking clown, all right.
Now costumes are really fucking cool. Like, they have some really cool shit for the kids now.
Yeah, they do.
Oh yeah.
And they're way more expensive too. But
Oh my God. Yes. Ella called me last week. She's like, Dad, can you take me? My friends want to dress up for school on Friday. Can you take me to get a costume? My wife goes, why the fuck is a 17-year-old girl need you to go buy her a costume? But I'm like, all right, fine. not even for Halloween, just for the day at school because her friends all decided to dress up. $80 later. I mean, and I bargained down from goth vampire to vampire nun to save $15.
Right.
But we had, I mean, it was an actual engagement, a battle of wills in spirit, you know, bargaining.
Fighting.
Well, you can get this, but you can't get this or this, you know, no, you can't get the $20 fangs, you get the $5 fangs, but I'll buy you the choker, that kind of thing. Still cost me $80.
That's awful. It's so bad. Like just off the rack costumes. Like if you just walk in and be like, okay, she wants to be Spider-Gwen, $40 just to grab it off the fucking shelf without any extras and all that.
Yep.
Because we did that 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I did. Bryce's was the same one. He wanted to be character from Fortnite or whatever. It's $50 for the fucking costume.
It's insane.
He wore it once.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Ooh,
I was
that
like,
gives- that
same
reminds me.
thing like you're saying. You hem and haw about it. Like, really? Am I going to spend $50 for something he's going to wear for 2.5 hours? Maybe.
You know, if she was 10 and was going trick-or-treating, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But she wasn't even planning on dressing up until her friends, who are also kind of probably not as 17 as they should be, like, oh, let's dress up. So because your friends decided to be cute to dress up, I have to pay $80.
Mm-hmm. Oh, show. Yeah.
This fucking sucks. But you know, I can't complain. She doesn't ask for a lot. She even said, oh, this can be my Christmas present, like I'm gonna do
Aw,
that. But
right.
still.
Yeah. Gotta love it. All right. You know what? I think we're going to throw it to commercial one more time. That way we'll come back. We'll wrap the show up with our typical ending.
Well-
What do you guys think? Do you have some more Halloween stuff before we
Well,
finish?
That's a good idea. I did want to bring something up since I don't think it'll fit in the next segment. And
Okay.
It's kind of scary. It's scary to me at least, and I'm hoping maybe one of you have run into this before. But right before the show, about an hour and a half before the show, my wife and I both. She filled up her water jug. I filled up my water thing that I take to bed, and I put it in my refrigerator. Put the kid to bed. Half hour before we start recording, I go and run some water to take my nightly pill, my metformin. And there's bubbles this high in the glass, and I taste it, and it's soap. And
Ooh.
our daughter had said that her nightly pill, so it tastes like soap, and we just thought she was. I mean, she does dumb shit like that, so we didn't think anything of it. I start running water out of the sink, and my wife goes in the bathroom, and we're legit getting soap bubbles.
That's weird.
We checked with our neighbors, 2 of our neighbors. They both said their water's fine. I went downstairs. I mean, I don't know how anything could be happening in my house to cause this. But yeah, really freaky, and kind of worried that tomorrow I'm going to have to call the county or something. I was going to throw it out there, see if anyone ever heard of anything like this.
We've had rust after there's been like a main break, excuse me, or something like that. But no, that's fucking weird.
I'd like to know whose soap I was drinking then, because I mean, it's not like any of my gray water shit can end up in the line that comes to my sink. You know, that's not
Mhm.
it's not possible.
Right.
If I understand how this works correctly, at least.
Yeah, it is supposed to be 2 separate. Yeah. In and out. Yes.
All right. All
That's
right.
gross.
I figured I'd throw it out there. That's my horror story. It may be a huge horror story tomorrow.
Right. I mean, if we're doing horror stories, I mean, there's this. So.
Happy
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah, I think I have the trick water. What the fuck is trick water? God.
See, there's so many good titles tonight that we're not
Exactly.
going to use. Jesus
Exactly.
Christ. All right, guys, check out these commercials that you've seen twice already, and we'll be right back. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a key back issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics. And we're back. What
Oh,
you-
come on.
what
You know who I am. I'm Hagrid. You're a wizard, Kevin. And you're a fucktard, Paul. And Corbs, you're all right. And Grid.
Nope, didn't get that one, but okay.
Well, it's short notice. Come on.
I mean, I'll give
Are
you
you a
that.
Viking?
No, I just actually have a Hogwarts blanket on because he always has big coats on. It's the closest thing I could
got
get
it.
to a big coat because I don't actually have any big coats.
That's fucking great. All right. So we've finished up our why are we getting a dick shot? What the fuck is that about? We
That's
finished
bizarre.
up all of our Halloween goodness. So let's roll into midstream. Or Bell. The Bell's back.
Popper.
Guys, what are you watching?
So I did. I binge watched Squid Game
You're ahead of me.
because Kev said he binge watched it 2 weeks ago, right?
What'd you think?
Oh, that shit was fucked up.
We finished it last night.
I have to start it.
Yeah, that was
What do you think about the ending? Just in general terms. Good, bad.
I would say it wasn't what I expected. And you can see kind of where they leave it open for a second season, obviously. But I don't know. I didn't get the whole. I didn't get like the whole last half of it. I mean, and I don't want to ruin it for Paul, but
Yeah, definitely don't say anything because it is totally worth the discovery.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't get that.
I swore at the TV. I was like, God damn it. Because I'm trying to be nebulous here. I don't know what he really thinks he's going to do, because I mean, he's a bit removed from the little pussy boy he was when he started, but not that far removed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, man, just get on, just go.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, unless they're actually planning on a sequel, and then I don't know if I want to see a sequel going in that direction.
I don't want to see a second season personally.
No, I don't know if it would be that good because you got to play different games. I mean, there are a lot more games you can play.
Right. I think second season wouldn't involve what you saw in the first season.
Yeah,
I
But I
honestly think it'd be different.
yeah. I don't see how you can top that. I mean, that was pretty much like from start to finish. I mean, it's 9 episodes. I watched 7 episodes in one day.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, because you get so invested quickly. You quickly get invested in the characters.
Yeah.
I know how they could improve it. Better localization. That irritated the fuck out of me. Tonally, it was all over the place. Like the first half of every episode was like, woohoo, general Korean silliness and weirdness. And then you drop off a cliff into deadly fucking serious. And I found that shift every episode to be very jarring. And I read that when the actors did the dubbing, they didn't get to see it. All they had were lines on a paper. So they just had to do what they thought, which is part of the reason it's so uneven.
Okay.
Yeah, yes and no. Have you watched any other Korean?
Yeah, I know that's typically how they do
Okay.
things.
They
I
do
just-
it is different. Their idea about how to do action
Drama,
comedy,
yeah.
drama is different. And I haven't seen many myself, but I had to go do a little bit of research, and I kind of understand some of it now. And now I have some options. There's some things out there, especially on Netflix, that are
Yeah,
pretty good.
Netflix is
Pretty
big,
good,
big
actually.
with the Korean stuff on there. Matter of fact, I picked up one that after I got done watching that, it's called My Name. That is
It's called Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So that one's pretty good too. That one I started, but my Netflix has been very laggy
good.
lately.
Ah,
So I don't know what was going on. I restarted it. I should say I had my ex restart hers because it's her Netflix account.
I was just gonna ask if you tried turning Netflix off and back on again.
You know, I
Good
gotta
idea.
wonder though, Kevin, how do you think, would it have been a huge change? Let's just say they went back and they redubbed this with American actors who had seen it. Do you think it would have taken away from the phenomenon it became? Or do you think if no one had seen it before and it was just that serious the whole way through, it still would have been what it was?
I do. I think part of its appeal is that it is a true Korean, dramedy. And I also heard that if you watch the version that is all in Korean with subtitles instead of the English dubbed with subtitles, that not that you watch it with subtitles if it was English dubbed. The wife and I always watch it. We always have the subtitles on. We found that we catch things that we would have missed otherwise. So what I heard was that if you watch the Korean version with subtitles, it is a different experience. And I wish that I had done that to begin with. And I will seek out other Korean shows that are that way, that are not American dubbed, because I want to actually experience it. I don't give a shit if I understand what they're saying. I want to see the emotion, the reaction, I want to see I want to see them in their natural environment, and then just get the subtitles and deal with it that way. I want to try that and see how that goes. But I don't know. I would it work if it was all done again with American actors in English? I don't know. I think there's some things that happened that are uniquely Korean, especially the final game.
Yeah.
That I don't know.
Yeah, and the was not the second one. The one where they've got to take that thing out of the piece of sugar.
Oh,
Yep.
That's what I want for party favors.
Don't go to Kev's parties.
yeah.
That's what I want
might-
for party
he-
favors.
That was pretty. That one's unique. That's a unique Korean game too. From what I gathered from
Yeah.
watching the whole episode. But all the other games look like they were just games that every kid plays. Red light,
Yeah. Like red light, green light, and
Yeah, it was red light, green light. There was that one game.
Oh, don't give it away.
I've heard about a bunch of them. I
Oh,
know
have
there's
you?
yeah,
I've seen
and
the
it's
clip with the
fine.
tug of war, and yeah.
Okay,
The-
that was the other one.
The memes that you've seen and some of the clips you've seen enhance the show, I think. And if you only go in with what little bit you've seen and heard, I think it definitely doesn't give it away.
No,
There's enough going on that it's interesting. It keeps it very interesting.
Nice.
I really like the ending right up until the very last thing that happened.
Yeah.
What happened at the end, I predicted early on, but then I pulled back from that. So that's all I'm going to say.
Interesting. I've definitely got to get caught up on this one too.
Yeah, you do.
yeah, you do.
But while we're talking about Netflix, did you guys happen to see that they dropped the trailer for Masters of the Universe Part 2?
No.
That dropped today. We'll have a link to it. Looks like the second half of the season is going to be really interesting. It looks like there's going to be some cool shit going on. I don't want to give too much away. I don't know if anyone has watched the first half of it.
Except for me.
You definitely did? Okay.
Yeah. No, I definitely did. I don't need to check.
That was more for me. That was okay. So Titans. Kev. Do we want to talk about this? Now that we're a week removed from the
It's the same problem I've had with other stuff. I've said it before. I don't like this whole bullshit about bringing people back from the dead. I get why they did it. I get it. It made it quicker. It made the whole, Nightwing's acceptance of Jason Todd. It made that all happen faster.
I just have to ask because Paul, I heard you were upset about this. I was pissed off when they did it previously in the season, and no one else seemed to have an issue with it. With Donna Troy.
Oh no, just as pissed.
Okay. Then we didn't get a chance to talk about that.
Just as incensed. I just don't. It's poor writing. Why kill them off if you're going to bring them back? Okay, all right. I'm going to say it. I'm going to tell you exactly what my problem is. You ready for this? Here is my problem, and it's all centers from the fact that I was a poor kid. I grew up poor, and I didn't have a hell of a lot. I had my comic books, and that's about all I had. And I could identify with some of the characters in the comic books because what were they? They were poor kids. Something happened to them, and all of a sudden they ended up with some kind of special ability or some kind of special circumstance. This is the easiest way for me to relate it. Captain America, the First Avenger. Okay, the end of the movie. Two of the main characters experience tremendous loss. The very first one is Peggy Carter. She experiences this horrible loss about, actually, I guess it was before that. Let's go before that. Let's go. Steve Rogers experiences his loss with his buddy that he thinks dies. Somehow, some way, we're supposed to pick up on the fact that Bucky is put on a table and has been injected with some kind of serum, and maybe he'd live through the fall. There's no way, as far as I'm concerned, there's no way in the first viewing of the movie when it first came out that you would have picked up on that. Maybe somebody would have because of the comic books. I don't know. I sure as hell didn't pick up on it. I thought Bucky was dead. I'm like, oh man, too bad for Steve. His best buddy's dead. So that was a horrible loss. But that one I can actually see. Okay, Bucky didn't die. He just got hurt because he had the serum. He didn't really die. Okay, I get that one. Peggy thinks Steve's dead. Nosedived in, saved the world, whatever, did his thing. Peggy thinks he's dead. She's got this horrible, sense of loss, this missed opportunity. Steve wakes up 70 years later. He's got the same thing, missed opportunity, horrible loss. You feel that you're connected to these characters. It gives you this emotional connection. Then at the end of Infinity War, they just wipe it out. Fuck you and your feelings. We're just going to give him whatever the hell he wanted from the very beginning. And why? Because it makes good movie. I fucking hate that. I hate that. Because now I go back and I watch Captain America and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's gut wrenching, it's emotional, but yeah, what the hell? He's going to fucking go hang out with her at the end.
Right, they still end up together at the end of everything. He just goes back and he's with her. Yeah, I agree with that.
Anything. It just you just take all this, emotion, this connection, all this buildup, all this, all everything that drew you into the story, and it's just like throw it away. Say, oh, that's what the hell. Let's do something else.
That's something I've talked about before, Kevin, and I have to say I strongly disagree because I do not believe that a future event can change how you felt about something in the past. It can change how you feel now, but the impact that had originally is not changed.
No, but But
And
it's taken
that's
away.
but it wasn't, because you still felt it back then. That's kind of how I look at it. You know, I
Well-
get what you're saying. I totally get it. But my place on that argument is that, you know, sometimes changes need to be made for story or whatever the reason is. And, you know, something that happens down the road doesn't change how I felt about what happened in the past. It might change how I look at it now, but
I just think it's poor writing. Poor writing, poor planning. You're feeding an audience. And I understand what the movies are doing. I totally get what the movies are doing. The movies are designed for people that never read the comic books. The movies are designed to be entertaining for people, regardless of where they came from, regardless of how they ended the story. You can watch any one of the Marvel movies all by itself and be entertained.
you do realize that that wasn't to give Steve a happy ending. The purpose of that was it's the only way they would have gotten Captain America to stop trying to save the world whenever anything went bad. They had to take him off the table because the actor was leaving. The only thing in the universe that could have done that was what they did, him going back in time and staying with Peggy and then being an old man in the future. If he had stayed there, he would still be in the Avengers. I mean, he got kicked out. He was considered a terrorist, and he was still fighting the fight all over the world. So, I mean, I see that as the only way they could get Captain America out of the franchise.
Well, it's definitely a
All
way
right,
to
that's
look
a
at
good
it.
point,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm not going to argue with that. I think that's very valid, very valid. I just, it was an example I used. Now that understand that was just an example I used that I think we can all relate with if we've seen the stories.
Yeah.
And it's this that is exactly what I refer to when I say I don't agree with the multiple timelines. I don't agree with the metaverse. There's 5 different Spider-Men. I mean, okay, there is, and if they're on separate timelines and they're all different people, that's one thing. But when this person dies here and he's brought alive back over here, and then he comes back over to this timeline, it's like, no, just write better stories.
Yeah, Alan Moore.
That's my problem with it.
But as for Titans, I mean, I do agree. It kind of fell apart at the end. It was still good. It was still better than anything on the CW, but I was disappointed too. I mean, there are a lot of missed opportunities there. Batman's a pansy who wants to kill himself. It could have gone so much better and built a much stronger universe.
Mhm.
I don't think they ruined the show, but
No.
I think I mean, that was their version of No Man's Land, and they completely missed the mark on that.
Did you catch all the references from Crane? All the references he had back to the original TV show.
No, I didn't.
Same Crane time, same Crane channel.
Yes, that I caught. Yes.
And there was a few others, and he kept doing it, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is freaking awesome. This is totally fan service from for us old fucks that just saw the original TV series or read the original comic books. I mean, he did a couple of different things. It's really worth a watch through again just to catch all that stuff. He was really funny. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think the very final episode of this season totally redeemed the whole thing. I thought what happened. I mean, some of the things are a little bit, out there. I still don't agree with the whole Lazarus Pit thing. I think that's a bunch of BS.
Well, that's established, but turning it into a fucking Lazarus thunderstorm, that was a little
that was
out there
weird.
for me.
That was
Yeah.
Let him be dead. Let him be dead. It's fine. It's fine. There's more people in the world, and they'll move into the Gotham, with the empty apartments. It'll be fine. Nobody cares.
Because rent is low in Gotham. Because
exactly
is high.
Yes.
Exactly. It's fine. I brought up. This is hilarious. You'll love this. I had the wiki page open as my wife and I are sitting here watching the final episode. I had the wiki page open for third Robin's name. What's his name?
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake. I had the wiki page open, and it's his picture dressed as Robin, and a little bit of a discussion about how he got there and what he was doing. As my wife and I are watching the final scenes, and she looks over and she goes, "Oh, he's the next Robin."
Maybe. I think you're going to see them go Red Robin because he's not going to be Batman's sidekick.
Oh, so he turns into a Robin, just not Batman's Robin.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see
Yes.
them use Red Robin instead.
Gotcha.
You're gonna use burgers?
Yum.
I like Titans though. I do like Titans overall.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, as I told you guys, Kevin was rage quitting Titans. I was getting quite a succession of very angry text messages.
Yes.
And I was trying to talk him off the ledge. I'm like, there's one more episode, let it go, you know. And then I came to work the day after the final episode aired. And a very sheepish looking Kevin, not actually like, you know, sheep looking, comes to me and says, I have a confession to make. I said, what's that? I finished Titans. I said, oh, really? I said, what'd you think? It was fucking awesome.
It was really good.
It did. It brought it back around. They had some bumps in the road on this season. I still really enjoyed it. The weird Dark Force dildo that gets jammed into Crane's mouth, that was weird. But
Dude, that was right out of the Green Mile.
fitting ending. I'll give it that. He deserved that.
Yeah, that was right out of the Green Mile.
I don't remember that from the Green Mile.
When the big guy gave all the sickness that he took out of the warden's wife, and he
Yes.
gave it to the son there, the son of the, I forget who he is, the governor's son or whoever the
Yeah.
fuck he is.
The douchebag.
Yeah, gave it all to him. I fucking love that scene in that movie. But
They
yeah,
also did that in the end of The Crow too.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I love it. I love that. I
Yes.
love that scene.
Let's move on because it looks like everybody's getting tired. And I'm just not even sure Grid's awake. I'm not gonna lie.
He's sick of us.
He's
never
bored.
coming back. He's like, I can't believe you guys do this shit.
He wanted to know where the fucking ghosts were. Oh shit! I thought he was gonna take the glasses off for a second. Holy shit!
A lot of character. You crazy?
And he didn't realize we're nerds except for Corbs.
So what else have we got? What have you guys been watching? Because other than our normal weeklies, I mean, I haven't ventured outside of the norm right now.
I watched Dark Side of the Ring.
It's back?
Yeah, it's back on. The second half of season 3 is back. So
Nice.
a couple of good episodes. I mean, this last one from last Thursday was about the XPW.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I was kind of. I remember hearing about XPW around the time of ECW. I mean, I was a big ECW fan, but I do remember hearing about the XPW and stuff like that. It's just, I mean, the fact that it was the guy who was running it was a porn producer. So I mean, it was pretty wild. Some of the stories that these guys were telling, and some of the stuff that they ended up supposedly doing, I guess is the correct terminology,
Yeah.
right, Hugh?
Allegedly.
Yeah, they were
Allegedly.
like in their building, the front half of the building, they're filming porn scenes and people are naked. The other half of the building is the wrestling ring where the wrestlers are showing up. So they're walking through all these people like getting gang banged and shit to get to the locker room to
Wow.
do their wrestling show. They said it was quite an experience.
Nice.
Yeah, girls just strolling around half naked, guys, walking around their cock hanging out and shit like that. It was, they were saying it was a pretty wild scene. So
Sounds like one of my Halloween parties. Just saying.
How did everybody feel about this week's Fear?
I'm not caught up yet.
you suck.
All I gotta say is, interesting enough, I like it. I still love the show, but they should all be fucking dead.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, this is
Yep.
insane. They hid under a truck during a nuclear
Yep.
blast, and they're just.
Yeah.
We can't be outside for more than 6 hours, dude. You're already dead.
Mhm.
So this is the pool with the shark in it, and this is Fonzie on his motorcycle.
Morgan on the motorcycle, you mean?
Fear jumped the shark.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I wasn't sure how they were gonna come back from that, from dropping the nukes.
They're
Like,
not. They're done.
Yeah, I don't get the whole thing. Like, and how did Strand end up in a place that didn't get affected?
by being in a high rise.
Well, they said that. They said that the a weather system took the fallout in the other direction. They did say that, which is reasonable, and I don't have a problem with that, because when nuclear bombs get dropped, yeah, some places get fucked and some places don't. The issue is the fact that Morgan and his little girl
Grace.
there,
Yeah.
Grace, they literally hid under a truck to avoid the fucking force of the blast and shit. I mean, they shouldn't. They should be fried.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the whole, like, one episode is based. I mean, it was kind of like what they did after they left the prison in Walking Dead. They broke it up, and you got one episode for certain people. I'm not a big fan of doing that. I'd like to see a little more. I mean, I know at some point they'll interact again,
But Fear kind of does that every season, don't they? It seems like every season.
Where they kind of break them off.
Yeah.
or keep them
Sorry.
past his bedtime.
I mean, it's exhausting standing in front of a convenience store. So no, I'm still getting caught up on that. I'm still getting caught up on World Beyond. I'm 2 episodes into World Beyond now.
The first or second season?
Second season. Phenomenal show. Still very good show.
At this point, stronger than Fear, oddly enough. And you know what a fan I am of Fear. But.
Right. Yes. Kevin, what's Live at Night?
Ben Affleck. He produced, directed a gangster type movie set in the 20s.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it's really good. It's a Netflix movie, just popped up. It popped up on our the screen, and you watched the previews of it and added it to the list, and we just happened to watch it. And I mean, just really freaking fantastic good. If you like the 20s gangster stuff, and the whole the running booze and drugs, and infighting between the different gangs, the Irish and the Italians, it's very, very good.
Nice. Another one to check out. And then finally, unless you guys have anything else to add, at least Kevin has watched Dune.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten to that one yet either. That is also on my list. I want to check it out, especially since they've already announced that a sequel's forthcoming.
Yep, they greenlighted the sequel.
Must have done very well this last week then.
Part 2, yeah. The sequel doesn't just mean the second half, right? Sequel means the next episode?
Yes, the next movie.
Okay.
Next movie.
Because they said this one is part 1, and then the one that's coming is part 2. So I don't know what is the third one? The trequel?
Trilogy. Part 3.
Part 3.
It's whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever pops on the DVD case.
I'm not saying I've heard of a third one, but I'm just.
I wouldn't be surprised if it continues on being this good from what everyone's saying.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll make it run its course. They'll milk it for everything they can.
It's really neat. I mean, any of you guys read the book?
No.
I wish I had. I haven't. I didn't even see the original movie that was out.
I've seen the movie and the miniseries, and that kind of burned me out on it. I really don't. I mean, this movie may be great, but Dune is slow. It's political, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't need to see a third adaptation of that. It's hard to get excited for it. I've heard good stuff too, but
the movie's like 2.5 hours.
Doesn't surprise me.
It went so fast, dude.
Yeah.
Did not feel slow at all.
Well, I've never seen any of the previous ones, so I think I'm going to start with this one. Check it out. I've heard the original movie was really fucking weird.
Yeah, I've heard good and bad about it. Not so much good, mostly bad.
Gotcha. All right. What else do we have, guys, on this extra long episode for Halloween?
I've just got my one thing.
Okay. What's your one thing?
Okay, well, I told Paul that we've been playing a game and nobody even knew. So for the last few months, I have been slipping lyrics to a song into every episode we have done, and not just in my news segment. Sometimes it's the beginning, the end, wherever I can put it. The rules I set down for myself are I have to do them either the exact line or a parody of that line that makes sense for the content, and I do not have to do repeated things. For instance, the chorus does not need to be put in a second time when I get to that, or any repeated lines, so because that would make it way too obvious. So I'm putting it out there. Now I don't have a prize. Maybe it will be a no prize. If anyone can figure it out, I've got a bunch of beer I can't drink anymore in my cellar now that I drink the non-alcoholic stuff. So, maybe we can come up with something, but I want to see if someone can figure out what the song is and where the lines are. And I
Okay.
want to
Sneaky
say,
bastard.
I want to say that it goes back to the Mike Lindell wants me to shit my pants episode, I believe is where I started. The My Pillow guy wants me to shit my pants. That's when I began. And every episode since then, except for one, there was one episode where I missed, and I'm not going to tell you which one it was. So let's see if anybody can figure it out.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know if giving away alcohol is a prize, because I don't know if we can really do that other than anybody here. But I'll jump in on that. If a listener tracks it down first before one of us, we'll definitely have some kind of a prize for them. I'm definitely cool with that. That's pretty fucking funny. And I'll tell you right now that I have not caught on to it. It's Is it a song I should recognize, you?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody here will know it.
Okay. All
And
right,
I
the hunt
have
is on.
All of the
Was it Happy
lines-
Birthday?
No. I have all of the lines written on a Post-it here so that I can keep track of what I did, so I can pinpoint what I said and how I said it for the most part. So we'll see what happens.
You sneaky little mother.
I like it. That's
Dude,
funny.
Come on, if you haven't figured it out by now, everything is always a bit for me.
Okay.
Always doing a bit.
All right.
Even when I don't seem like I'm doing a bit, I'm probably doing a bit.
All right.
Whereas when I'm doing a bit, it's in your fucking face. It's very obvious. Like last episode. All right. Grid, before we go, tell everybody where they can find you and why they should be checking out your shit.
I got me on Facebook and YouTube. We got Grid After Dark /Facebook. And then the YouTube channel, they can type that in there. And you guys gonna do some more collabs with us, I hope.
Yes, that is the plan.
Do you have promo response?
Yes. Look at that, dropping our shit for us even. Look at them go. Yes, they have to be indoor shit, because now we're getting into winter though, man.
What?
Yes, I don't do cold.
Wear a jacket. I wore a Star Wars blanket at one time. Come on.
That's awesome. Oh, background just disappeared because
Oh,
he
no,
wants to believe.
I changed it just because we were talking about it.
Nice.
I went and did it. So that's not quite everything, but
Yeah, we did a deep dive. We have equipment as well now. So all right, so let's wrap this thing up with my Halloween themed, spooky themed, I guess, wisdom nugget. You guys ready?
Always.
Theoretically, it would take approximately 400 humans to have enough iron to forge a sword from blood. Good night, everybody, and happy Halloween, bitches.
This has been a GeekPod Network production. Thank you.